Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good morning. Good afternoon and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. Hope this show finds you in great spirits, as it should. Hopefully it should be finding you guys in great spirits. Hopefully you guys had a very beautiful night. You know, got a chance to sleep. Or if you're enjoying your afternoon or morning, whatever time you're watching this show right here. But we got some updates. Yes, we got some updates. There was an interview that was done on Vinny Paladin's show, Closing Arguments on Court TV. He had an interview with Seth Rogers. I figured we should talk about it. We should look at this and talk about it because, I don't know. We're going to talk about it, okay? We're just going to talk about it, all right? So do me a favor. Before we jump into everything, before we get all into the nitty-gritty, do me a favor, okay? Hit that like button down below. Hold on. Sorry, still getting all the stuff out of my head, but hit that like button down below, please, and thank you. Don't forget to hit that reaction button. That would really, really mean a lot, all right? Please don't forget to do that. Of course, please do me a favor. Hit that follow button if you're watching on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, you name it. Follow me on all those platforms. Do not forget to crush that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. Okay? Your boy's working hard out here in these streets for you. All right? So please do that as well. Crush that subscribe button. If you want to support the channel, by all means, hit that join button down below. If you're watching on YouTube, become a member of the family. You know, these purple lights don't pay themselves. Okay? I'm going to keep it real. These purple lights don't pay themselves. So join the membership, or you can join my Patreon. Send the ticker down below, patreon.com/the Pascal Show. Send the ticker going that way as we speak right now, as we speak. Okay, go check those things out. That'd be greatly, greatly appreciated. Okay, guys, let's get into this. Okay, it has been, if I have my numbers correctly, it has been 60 days, give or take a day. Okay, 60 days since Sebastian Rogers was seen alive and breathing. Now, of course, I need to bring up his photo really, really quick because, of course, I think it's really important for those of y'all who are still new to the case, new to everything, may not know all of this right here, okay? So this young boy, I call him a young man. He's 15 years old. At this age, I would be calling him young man, okay? Just to be completely real with you, okay? But this young man was last seen in his bedroom. Mom saw him go into his bedroom, go to bed. There was a thud, a loud thud or thump in the night. She didn't go and check on him when that happened. But the following morning, around 6 a.m. or so, she walked into his bedroom and found that he was gone without a trace. Again, he left with no shoes on. He allegedly has a small little flashlight with him. He was wearing all black. That's what he was wearing to go to bed in. That was his PJs. There is no trace, allegedly, no trace of him anywhere around the house. Inside the house or outside the house, there are no ring cameras, security cam footage, nothing. There's not one stitch, not one frame of video showing this young man. It's very, very odd. It is a wild, wild case. We've been covering this since the beginning, around the time when this story was really getting out there and people were talking about it. But it's been 60 days. 6-0, not 16, even though that's a really long time. 60 days. And still zero sign, no clues, no nothing. But one thing I will say, and I'm going to keep it a buck with y'all, okay? But one thing that has really been keeping this case out here in these streets, and on these social media streets as well, is the things that have been going on within the family. There's been a lot of family drama going on. A lot of family drama going on. There's been a lot of push and pull. There's been a tug of war. There's been all kinds of different things. Mud has been slinging back and forth, etc. Let's not forget, we have looked at the Proudfoots and the Rogers, but we have seen how the Proudfoots have kind of been caught. They have been getting caught in contradiction after contradiction over and over and over again. We already know about all this stuff, for those of y'all who do know about all this stuff. But what's interesting is, on some real stuff, I was having a conversation with one of my boys last night, and I had to basically tell him the origin story of this case because he knew nothing of this case. And as I was breaking it down to him, he's like, oh, my Lord, I need to look into this. This is getting crazy. As I like to say, it's been getting thicker than a Snicker. And it has. But you do have to remember, one of the main reasons why it has been staying out here in these streets is because of the drama as well. Now, over the past weekend, there's been many vigils. There have been many prayer vigils or candle vigils or some sort of variation of a vigil for Sebastian Rogers. Proudfoots haven't been seen at any of them. In fact, Proudfoots haven't even been seen at any of the moments when volunteers have come together to search areas, etc. We haven't seen the Proudfoots at all. Let's not forget their actions are speaking a lot louder than their words too. Jumping in RVs, going on vacations, going and shopping for Harleys and whatnot. Maybe possibly putting their house up for sale. That's still on the table, guys. That was talked about weeks ago. And that still could very well be what's going on here. Them selling their house. That could still actually happen. Let's not forget that. Rumors are floating around, and that could still be very true. Unbelievable. Just a quick reminder. But we've seen the actions of the Proudfoots. It has been very questionable. Like I say all the time, I got questiones. I got a lot of questions. But then recently, let me see if I can actually find this photo. But then recently, at this vigil that happened this past weekend, Chris Proudfoot allegedly shows up to the vigil, which, of course, a lot of people would sit there and go, yay, finally something, right? Here's the photo here. Yay. You know what I mean? Hercules. But still, something about this meeting looks weird to me. Now, it could very well be nothing. This could be nothing. This could literally be just him leaning in, having a conversation, because how he's standing over, if you see down below, he's standing where there's like a curb and he's like straddling a curb, right? It could be just how it looks. But a photo does speak 1,000 words, right? Now, there was alleged an exchange of words, that there was a heated exchange of words between the two. But at the end of it, regardless of them talking about whatever differences they had, somehow the conversation came out of, we should unite. We should join forces. The Proudfoots and the Rogers finally make some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Of course, Seth Rogers went to a video and said, hey, we're doing this because we're setting our egos aside. It's about finding Sebastian Rogers, which I completely and 110% agree. And he said, if anybody has a problem with that, they can F off. All right. He said what he said. I get what he was trying to say. I know a lot of people felt some type of way about that, for sure. But one thing that I thought was very interesting, which should not be overshadowed by a video of a very passionate father who is at his own wit's end trying to find where the hell his son is. What shouldn't be overshadowed is the fact that they have agreed to step together and work as a team to find Sebastian Rogers. You know, Avengers assemble, you'd hope, right? In fact, I'm going, okay, great. This is fantastic news. Hopefully, they do exactly what they say that they're going to do. Because when I hear something along the lines of, hey, we are going to team up, I hear, I'm going to share my resources. You're going to share your resources. We're just going to it's just going to be kind of like a jambalaya. We're just going to mix it all up and it's going to be a delicious dish, right? And we're going to find Sebastian. We're all hoping that is what's transpiring since the day of this conversation, right? Well, something recently just happened. Seth Rogers was on an interview on Court TV with Vinnie Paladin. Closing arguments. Shout out to Court TV. We got to take a look at this interview. Because there's a lot being said without even being said, but it's actually like he is saying it without even saying it. You feel me? You're going to see it in a second. We're going to watch it. It's short. It's a very short interview. Because there's not any new developments. There aren't any pieces of information, any news in regards to finding Sebastian, which should be the number one priority. But he still went on to give the people some updates. Apparently, there's another event going on tomorrow, if I'm correct. The lighting of a bridge in Sebastian's favorite color, and all that. So we're going to see all that in this interview very, very shortly. But again, I do want to point out, we talked about this before. And is this alliance, the main question I have right now is this alliance, this alleged alliance, we'll just say alleged alliance, is this alleged alliance really an alliance? Or is one side trying to play the other? I'm telling you right now, as you hear in this interview, there's a lot that's being said in between the words. It does feel like one side isn't contributing to the agreement that was recently made a few days ago. I'll just say it like that. We'll talk more about this in a second. But what I even said too, before we get into this, the Proudfoots and even Seth as well would have to be very cautious and tread lightly, especially one who is guilty out here. If there's a guilty party, or if there's a party that knows more than what they're letting off, they'd have to be extremely cautious, because everybody and their mama is going to be watching them under a microscope, especially after you say, let's join forces. Let's team up. Let our bygones be bygones. and let's find Sebastian. Cool. So you're going to do that or no? Because I'm telling you right now, you don't respond, you don't contribute, there is no contribution coming on your side. This makes you look even worse. And then everybody side eyes you even more. Once again, possibly caught in another mother-loving lie. Let's take a look at this video, shall we? Hit the number 1. Let me know you guys can hear this. I'd appreciate it. Please do not forget to hit that like button down below. All right. Show some love if you can before we get everything going. Let's get it past 500 likes. Okay. Hit that like button down below. All right. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. All right. At the end of the day, no matter what, we are here to spread more awareness, to find Sebastian. But I'm wondering if this alliance, I'm just wondering if this alliance is really going to work out. So let's take a look.
So February 26th is when Madeline was reported missing. That same day, February 26th, another child was reported missing. Sebastian Rogers out of Tennessee. You've seen all the developments in the Madeline Soto case. They're not great developments, but there are developments. But as we sit here tonight, the search for Sebastian Rogers continues. He has not been found. His dad will join us live next. In Hendersonville, Tennessee, that's near Nashville. His mother, Katie Proudfoot, discovered he was missing from his room. Around 6 o'clock in the morning is when she says he went missing. There's like no evidence of anything here. So please take a look at the picture. Go on your social media and find a picture of him and share it, because we've got to share this everywhere. Important note also, April 26th at 7:30 will be Light the Path for Sebastian. Memorial Park in Hendersonville. It's on Main Street. The bridge will be lit up in Sebastian's favorite color, which is green.
Now, real quick, I want to pause on this so everybody can see this, okay? So Light the Path for Sebastian. That happens tomorrow, if I'm correct. Yep, tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right? So if you're in the area, please go through, go check it out. It's at 151 East Main Street, Hendersonville. Okay? The ticker is covering up the rest of the thing. Hopefully I get a flyer so I can share it with you guys on the community page. I can share it online, so on and so forth. But still, I think this is important for those of y'all who are wanting to be there, that are wanting to support, etc. Because I know these past few weekends, everybody's got something going on, right? But if you are in the area and can be there, by all means, go. Support if you can. All right? April 26th, that's tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. So tomorrow night. All right? Let me continue on, though.
And joining us right now, special guest, Sebastian's dad, Seth Rogers, is back with us. Seth, thanks for coming on tonight. Let's start with what we're looking at here, Light the Path. Give us a little more information about it, what it's about, and I want to know why green was or is Sebastian's favorite color.
He just likes green. It's been his favorite color for as long as, one of the first conversations is like, what's your favorite color? And he chose green, and has stuck with it. So for the last, 12 years, it's always been green with him. So hopefully we can light the path in green, and they wouldn't let me get a Batman signal. So we'll just go ahead and use glow sticks and light bags, and it'll be 2 months.
2 months. That's 2 months is too long. I mean, two hours is too long to have a child missing. Another announcement that I saw you made is that you are now working with Chris and Katie. Chris, his stepfather, and Katie, his mom. So all of you are now putting aside your differences and working together?
Chris approached me at the vigil last weekend and asked if, we could drop our egos and work together to find Sebastian. And I told him as long as he's willing to help, I'll take any of the help I can get. My ego is not enough to stop me from accepting help to try to find my son.
And how is that developed? Is the help there from Chris and Katie?
Here we go.
I've been sending Chris and Katie emails for things that I already have in the works. I'm currently waiting on Chris to approve what I've sent to him. If he doesn't approve it, then,
What type of...
So he says, I am waiting for the approval from Chris. Now, I know a lot of people are, I'm sure, asking this question, this burning question. Why is it Chris that has to give the approval and not Katie? You never know. Maybe Katie is sitting in the back seat and Chris is running point, is in the driver's seat for this whole thing. I don't know. But obviously there's some level of control that's going on here, if you notice. If it has to be approved by Chris and not approved by the biological mother of Sebastian Rogers, that is weird. It is weird. That's weird. This is her kid. Yes, he's the stepdad, but at the same time, this is her biological child that she made with Seth. Why is Chris Proudfoot in the middle of this mess? Why? That makes no bloody sense. Makes no sense. But then again, if this is how the procedure is with them, and this has always been the dynamics between Chris Proudfoot, the Proudfoots and Seth, then I guess it is what it is. But it clearly shows some level of control, in my personal opinion. Let's continue. Because, again, he also said that he's waiting on approval from CP, Chris Proudfoot. He's still waiting for approval. Remember, okay, this interview happened yesterday, last night, Wednesday. The vigil was last weekend. We're about to enter into another weekend. And he still hasn't gotten anything from them yet? You'd think that there'd be a tidal wave of emails, conversations, text messages, phone calls, etc., basically saying, Proudfoot, from the Proudfoot side, saying, hey, this is what we got so far. Here's what's going on. Here is our private investigator, if they even have one. Here's the information that we have gotten from police, because for a fact they got more information from law enforcement than Seth has in a very long time. While Seth is going, okay, here's the information, and here's the numbers from my contact information for my PIs. Here's the information that we do have so far in our investigation. Let's do this let's pool all of our stuff together. Like I said, a jambalaya. Let's mix it up and let's make something happen here. But that's not what's happening. It's been days. Seth is sending out emails and not receiving anything back. In fact, Seth is going a bit further, trying to make things right, which is also very interesting. You're going to hear it in a second, but he's doing more to try to show, yes, I want unity. You know what I'm saying? I want to make things make sense. I want to get this stuff together. just doesn't make sense, but okay.
Things are we talking about?
I've got a canine handler that is extremely overqualified, has several different background clearances, classifications. Their dogs are everything from cadaver to narcotics to live tracking, bomb sniffing. The dogs are exquisitely trained. I've got them to come in to see if we can actually find anything that maybe Sumner County Sheriff's Office wasn't able to get. I've got a couple different organizations that are search and rescue qualified that are 501c out of Texas. I've actually spoken to an individual who wants to be our spokesperson for all three of us, so that way there's no quote unquote mudslinging or anything like that that will speak for us as a unified front.
Let me just say this. Person has stepped forward, said, hey, I would love to be your spokesperson. Kind of like a Chris Dingman or a Tony Mathis from the Caleb Harris case. Okay, I'm willing to step forward and say what I need to, say what you guys collectively want me to say on all these things, these podcasts, these interviews, etc. So then there's no drama. If there is any drama, that stays behind the scenes, stays between y'all, instead of it getting messy out here in these streets for everyone to see. I think that's pretty damn amazing. That's not even to mention the sniffer dogs, cadaver dogs, whatever you want to call them, extra resources that are capable of helping and maybe expediting this search in a faster fashion so that we hopefully find him in less than 70 days, because it's already 60. He's sending this information out to the Proudfoots. He's saying these things to them in emails, because I guess that's the only way he can reach out to them and let them know what's going on. Everything in email form, so they know exactly what's going on. All they got to do is click on it and read the emails. If there's links, phone numbers, etc., they can go and reach out to those people. And what are the Proudfoots doing? What are they doing? And no, I will say this. I don't think Seth is being played a fool. Not at all. In fact, I think the Proudfoots are looking a whole lot more foolish right now than ever before. This is just driving everything that the court of public opinion has been thinking and feeling since day one. Seth has been doing all the effort, putting in all the work, trying to get some transparency from the Proudfoots. They say, let's do an alliance. That was very public. You got to understand, this wasn't a phone call that he made to to Seth Rogers randomly while he was pumping gas on the side of the road. No, he physically showed up to the vigil and said, we need to team up. We need to let bygones be bygones. We need to set our egos aside, because it's about finding Sebastian, man. It's about finding Sebastian. I bet you want to team up. Cool. Everybody and their mama in here, all these people at this vigil just took photos in their video. They're filming this moment right now. They're seeing you do this. You've made a very public move. And now what do? We sit back and we wait. We sit and we just go, okay. What he gonna do? And we sit and we wait. And guess what happens? Nothing. Not a damn thing. At least so far. Maybe this interview here will light a fire under the Proudfoot's asses and they'll actually step up. But we haven't heard anything. At least Seth hasn't heard anything yet. In fact, I think a spokesperson would be fantastic for this whole thing. Real talk. Instead of murkying up the water, muddying up the water, and getting it all murky and messed up, instead of slinging mud at each other and all that stuff, you have a person that's in the middle that is just there speaking about nothing but facts, and that's it. Nothing needs to get hairier, more dramatic, no drama, no nothing. I think that's fantastic. And that they can all focus on what matters the most, finding Sebastian. But like I said, looks like Seth has extended his olive branch. And he hasn't seen nothing. I don't think he's the one who's getting played right now, guys. I don't think he's the one who's getting played. Let's continue.
I think that's a great development. I think that's
all this stuff that I've been working on, and I've sent it to him. I'm just waiting on him to get back with me and be on the same plan with me to find Sebastian.
Now, I also saw Katie spoke on a program over the weekend, and one thing that stuck out to me, she said she's getting daily updates from law enforcement. Are you getting daily updates from law enforcement?
No, sir.
Katie spoke on a program over the weekend, and one thing that stuck out to me, she said she's getting daily updates from law enforcement. Are you getting daily updates from law enforcement?
No, sir.
Still to this day, he has not received not one bit of info from law enforcement. You've heard it on this show multiple times. Every single time that he's called in, every single time that he has ever been on camera doing an interview, like doing a video chat with me live on the show, every single time he is called in, I've asked him that question. Any updates from law enforcement? Nope. Have law enforcement been telling you anything? Nope. He's completely shut out in the dark. The only people that know any type of developments are Chris Proudfoot and Katie Proudfoot. No one on the Rogers side. They're left out in the cold, y'all. Seth has been left out in the cold. And I think that's one of the main reasons why he's saying, yes, let's align up. Let's make this alliance. Because I can find out what's going on here. I can hear what law enforcement is telling them, because apparently law enforcement is telling them everything. Why aren't they telling the biological father, who has rights, by the way? This is his son. Why are they not telling him anything? That is wrong. That is wrong. Unless they think that he's like the prime suspect, which he clearly is not. Why wouldn't they give the biological father, who is actually out there in the streets trying to find this young man, any information? Why wouldn't they give him any information? That doesn't make any sense. That's wrong. And he's on closing arguments, court TV, saying that he still does not get any information. That's crazy, guys. And look at Vinny's face. What? I'm surprised too. Still?
And is there a reason? Are they not they don't want to communicate with you, or is there?
They are communicating with my private investigators. That way there is no longer me having to take time out of my day while I'm sitting there searching, trying to gather resources and planning on the next action to take. My private investigators are speaking with them.
And how many?
But if his private investigators are speaking to law enforcement and he's still not receiving anything, that would mean that private investigators aren't getting information either, wouldn't it?
PIs do you have on the case?
Currently, I have 2.
And I'm hearing you talk about private investigators, search teams, canines trained. Is this something that is going to have to be financed some way?
I'm using the GoFundMe. I've been using everything that's coming in so that I can finance what I can.
And at this point, because it's been 2 months, do you feel like the support is still out there from the public? Is it dying down at all? Because we don't want it to die down.
Sebastian's army is strong. People want my son found. And every day I wake up, God has made sure that I have woken up. My goal is to find my son, and he knows it.
Seth, appreciate you coming on tonight. I know you're extremely busy, but I wanted to make sure everyone knew about Light the Path for Sebastian on the 26th. It's going to be a big crowd. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and our thoughts are with you.
I am currently working on another vigil as well. I should know soon if I'll be able to have it.
Thanks.
So one thing I will say, because I saw S-Dubs put this in, and that is important. No one has been cleared. There's been a lot of information floating around here basically saying that the Proudfoots have been cleared. I have heard nothing about anybody being cleared, okay? But still, even so, if no one has been cleared, then either they tell none of these 3, the Proudfoots and the Rogers, any information, they keep everything close to the vest, or they tell everybody. They tell the 3. You can't just tell the Proudfoots and not tell him. And sure, he's the one who's been on interviews and the most talkative out of the 3 as of late. But you got to remember, there is one person out here that I believe is telling as much. I believe that he's telling the truth. Okay? I don't think that he's out here saying, oh, yeah, I've never put my hands on Sebastian, and then 5 seconds later go on Nancy Grace and say something completely. You see what I'm saying? Okay? The other way around, but you get what I'm saying, right? Oh, I put my hands on him before. CPS was called. Then go on Nancy Grace and say something completely different. You see what I'm saying? He's not going out here and saying contradicting things on multiple platforms. He's going out here and he's saying, he's speaking on the case and speaking on the fact that he doesn't know anything. So, and another thing, somebody else said something, it bothers me. I get it. Some people feel like, what's the point of all these vigils, so on and so forth. Hey, if this was your kid, wouldn't you do everything you could to keep their name out there? To keep bringing awareness about your kid? And if it means you got to do 1,500 vigils, then dag nabbit, you do 1,500 vigils. You do whatever it takes to get your kid back alive and safe. So please miss me with that nonsense of, oh, why are you doing the vigil? Why are you doing it? It's not going to do anything. But yes, it could. It could. It brings the community together. It brings more awareness about what's going on. It lets people know who don't know about Sebastian Rogers' case know about it. What's up with the pathway lit green, and why is everybody out here? Oh, it's because in support of this 15-year-old kid that went missing. His name is Sebastian Rogers. Oh, who's Sebastian Rogers? And then next thing you know, they dive right into the dark, long, deep rabbit hole, which is this case. I tell you what, if it was my kid, there'd be a vigil every day. I stop at nothing. So if he wants to do a vigil this week and then next week and the week after that and the week after that, so be it. Let him do his thing. If it means that it's going to bring awareness for Sebastian and bring Sebastian home, please do it so we can bring Sebastian home. But back to this. Clearly, Seth has extended. Hey, here's some information that I have. I've had conversations with this person and that person. I'm trying to get things together to do this, this, and this. I am showing you full transparency on my end. I showed you mine. Now it's time for you to show me yours. And what happens? Goose egg, radio silence, nothing. He is on court TV, national television, giving this information, saying he is still waiting to hear from the Proudfoots. Not the greatest look, y'all. Not the greatest look. And I'm sure, aside from the recent developments of maybe having a spokesperson or bringing in another search group or other sniffer dogs and all that stuff, that's all at the surface information that they would have found out regardless if they were in communication and were in this alliance with Seth or not. They would have figured it out. Shoot, people are still getting followed out here in these streets. I guarantee you. Remember a couple weeks ago? Even Seth said it out loud. There are volunteers, there, even himself, that are still getting followed out here. You tell me they just stopped that? People aren't following? People aren't following Seth and his volunteers and maybe his PIs and whatnot? You really don't think? You really think they just stopped? Suddenly out of nowhere, the dark SUVs or those dark vehicles just suddenly just stop showing up anymore? I doubt it. Sebastian's nowhere to be found. 60 plus days now. 60 days. Still nothing. See, this is the other thing too, and I got to bring this up. I'm going to bring this up to you guys because this doesn't make any sense to me at all either. Okay? And this is not me throwing any shade to any organizations, any search rescue organizations. Every single last one of them that have come forward and done everything they could to help find Sebastian, I commend them for it because they don't have to. You see what I'm saying? They're dedicating their time and effort to try to find Sebastian. But again, something fishy is going on. And let me say this, and shout out to JLR, okay? Because this is where I saw this. All right. I'm still curious, okay, about this. In fact, 1 second, let me just see something real quick. One second. Please do me a favor, hit that like button down below, please and thank you. That would really mean a lot. All right, so I'm going to pull this up. Take this with a grain of salt. I don't know if this is entirely true. I'm wondering about this because it seems like there's another thing happening again where search organizations are not doing it anymore. I'm confused about this. All right. One thing, though. Hold on, guys. Let me just make sure. I'm just cross-referencing some things real quick. This is very real. Okay. I want to make sure that this is real. So this is really a post that I want to share with you guys. All right. I just wanted to make sure that, everything's real. All right. And this is from JLR. So I appreciate him giving us updates on this piece too. Another group are bowing out of searching for Sebastian. Let's take a look at this. Of course, it says, due to misinformation and safety concerns, me and my YouTube friends, CJ and narked divers, will no longer be searching for Sebastian Rogers. Now, CJ, if I'm correct, CJ is the one who was on the show, last week, if I'm correct. Again, not throwing any shade towards anybody. I'm just curious as to what is going on where they are now not there anymore. Narked divers will no longer be searching for Seth Rogers as well. I'm wondering why. All leads from this point forward should be sent to the PIs or the local or the law enforcement. Sorry, but our safety has to come first. So I'm wondering what is going on here. I'm wondering what's going on here and why this happened. Because that's frustrating. It was the Cajun Navy, then it was the Uvalde Foundation for Kids, and then now we're hearing these other content creators as well. They're not only just search and rescue organizations, but content creators are now sitting away or walking away. And I'm wondering what the heck is going on here. What happened? Pitt, let's see. Thank you so much for the comment. There's so much going on, so much misinformation with this case. So sad. Seth, enough start fighting. Seth, enough start fighting. Hire a lawyer, hold a news conference, putting law enforcement and the other parents on blast. I don't blame you for feeling what you feel. Because when I hear about other organizations that are out here trying to find, like I said, does this mean something is clearly something is up? And it's not anything sinister within these guys, within these organizations and these content creators. They're getting spooked. That's clearly what's going on. Unless they're literally being put on a wild goose chase and they're going, what's the point? Due to misinformation. What is that in misinformation? I'm just curious about it. Like I said, are they getting followed? Are they getting threatened as well? Remember, Cajun Navy, the very beginning, they're like gung-ho, we're going down there, we're going to find Sebastian, right? And everyone's like, yeah, find Sebastian. And then all of a sudden, they bow out. Due to threats, etc. We have to walk away. What kind of threats were they getting, though? And are these guys getting the same threats as well? That's crazy. That's crazy. So what happened here? Like I said, no shade at these content creators, none at all. Okay, none. I'm just curious as to what happened here. Were there threats? Not only maybe legal threats, or were there actual threats that were going on here that would inspire 3, if I'm correct, 3 me and my YouTube friends, so 3 different groups have uprooted and left. That's scary. And to me, it sounds like somebody's out here not wanting these three groups and all the other groups that were involved. Seems like they don't want them to search. Seems like they don't want them to find Sebastian. So what is that? Does that have to do with the Proudfoots or no? What's going on here? So like I said, that part just does not make any sense to me. Maybe somebody out there, it will make sense for them. But like I said, that just doesn't make any sense to me at all. Let me get some of these super chats. Sweet Caroline, thank you so much for being a member for the past month. Good morning to you as well. Penny, thank you so much. Maybe that just means they'll stay out of his way. I can't talk today. This morning's crazy, but they'll stay out of his way. Maybe with the alliance. I'm assuming that's what you mean. And maybe that's what it is. I don't think it is, though. You know, for a fact that listen, if people are literally saying this kind of stuff, something is rotten in Denmark. That's what I think. I think something deeper is going on. And they're probably trying to scare these guys out of the town. That's terrible. Now, obviously, that's speculation on my end, but at the same time, we have seen a pattern over and over and over again. It's been one thing after another, after the other, after the other. Something's not right here. These guys were out here doing good work from what I saw. So what made them, and safety concerns, because it's not only just the misinformation, because you got to remember, we saw a video from Narc Divers where they were having a conversation with Chris Proudfoot. Him giving him all kinds of information. Now I'm curious, were they still having conversations with Chris Proudfoot and that information was just taking him on a wild goose chase? That's crazy. But then on top of it, it says safety concerns. Sup with that? Something more is going on here. Like I said, something's rotten in Denmark. And they need to get down to the nitty-gritty and figure out what the hell what is rotting. Because something ain't right. There are people that are getting followed. Volunteers, Seth, etc., getting followed. Other people are leaving. Countless times, it's the same story. Safety concerns and quote-unquote misinformation that they've been saying on from countless other organizations. There's a common theme here, guys. So what's up with that? What's up with that? Carbonize. Thank you. C&K have done nothing but slow this investigation. Absolutely. I agree. Until I actually see them do something that's productive out here, that shows actual movement, that'll be something. That'll be something. But shopping for Harleys, regardless if it was on the day of Sebastian's vigil, the day before, the day after, 2 weeks ago, it doesn't matter. It is the actions, it is the optics that look absolutely terrible in the court of public opinion. The Harley could wait. Your son can't. Every day that he's out there is another day of him being in dire straits. But I guess the court of public opinion is only aware of that, and the Proudfoots are not. Clearly. Kathy, thank you so much for the super sticker. S-Dubs, thank you so much. Why not do the updates on a three-way call? Please hit the like, and remember, this is about Sebastian. Yes, that's the other question too. Why aren't they doing, why aren't they doing some sort of three-way call, etc.? Why aren't they calling each other every day? Notice when we did Riley Strain's case, when we talked about Caleb Harris's case, which I hope we get some new updates in regards to the Caleb Harris case very, very soon. My fingers crossed on that, real talk, okay? But they all have said, yeah, we get into the war room and we talk it out. It'd be a whole team of people for Riley Strain, which they are still having their war room discussions to this day because they're still trying to figure out what actually happened to Riley. Same thing with Caleb Harris. They're still having their war room discussions, trying to figure things out, letting their spokesperson speak for them on behalf of any developments that are going on? Why are they not having a war room or powwows at the end of every single day where they're on for 30 to an hour, 30 minutes to an hour, where they just do updates? This is what we know so far. This is what I did. This is what happened when I talked to the sheriff today. This, that, and the third. I talked to my PI, and we have a possible lead in this particular direction, so we're going to look in that direction, so on and so forth. Like I said, something is rotten here, and it doesn't make any sense. But you've seen countless times Seth has been out here going, I'm willing to try this alliance. Let's see what you guys got. Here's what I got, what you guys got, and still nothing. Still nothing. Penny, thank you so much. He's law enforcement. He'll understand and know they're not doing anything. Yeah. I mean, it's clear. If they're not saying anything and they're busy just living in the RV, because from my understanding, Katie Proudfoot's not in that house anymore. She's back at the campgrounds with her man in the RV. They're probably trying to figure out something for the summer. Maybe that's why they're looking at Harleys. Maybe they're going to do a Harley trip across America. I don't know. But like I said, it's the optics for me, dog. It's the optics. Misty, thank you so much. C and K, y'all can't even be bothered to pretend to be concerned, worried, heartbroken parent / step parent of their missing 15-year-old son. K and C have purely selfish agendas for teaming up with Seth, in my honest opinion, or in my opinion. I couldn't agree with you more, Misty. Something is not right. And everything that they've done so far, all the acts that we've seen, at least at the surface, clearly we don't know what's going on fully going on behind closed doors or behind the scenes, but these actions that they're doing scream red flags. They have been nothing but red flags. Nothing but red flags. And so in my mind, I keep going, well, is Chris, when he walked up and wanted to talk to Seth and say, let's join forces, man, let's put our differences aside, was that just his way of trying to manipulate? Remember, he decided to step forward and talk about alliance with Seth at a vigil. Everybody and their mama there. But what actually drives the whole thing home, and it angers me even more, is the fact that he didn't even stay for the vigil. He didn't stay not 1 minute for that vigil. He took himself into his car and he drove off. Craziness. True crime. Thank you so much. In my opinion, working with CP, KP to find Sebastian is like working with Stephen Stearns, pig vomit, to find Madeline before she was found. It's interesting because the same time that she went missing is the same time that Sebastian went missing. Think about that for a second. Think about that for a second. I know that I'm not trying to wear a tinfoil hat. I'm not trying to say it's a conspiracy to prove that JFK wasn't assassinated. No. I ain't saying that. All I'm saying is it's just very interesting that two couples are being looked at in the same fashion when both of their teenage kids went missing around the same time. Only difference is Madeline was found and Sebastian's still out there. And we still have not shown any proof of any wrongdoing coming from the Proudfoots. But they know something, okay? They definitely know something. All you can be sure of is being pointed in the wrong direction by the suspects. Yep. No doubt. You are not wrong. True crime again. Thank you so much. How did Prophets call sheriff at 6:30 a.m. when Sumner County Sheriff doesn't open until 8 a.m.? Good question. That's a very good question. I don't know. That's weird. Please have Seth ask PI to question TBI on the lies. Well, hopefully Seth is watching. Maybe he'll take notes on that, but I'll try to remember that when I talk to him again. Hopefully I talk to him soon. Okay. But Elena, hopefully I'm saying your name right, hired Dog the Bounty Hunter. Now, Dog the Bounty Hunter would be fantastic for this, I would assume. But what's interesting is we had Laura Conlon on the show. She interviewed Dog the Bounty Hunter, and he knew nothing about this case. But remember, he broke it down. He did a whole breakdown on that mug and basically said, yeah, all signs point to the parents, period. She was the last person to see him alive and breathing. She says that, all the evidence, he was just from my knee-jerk reaction, just shooting from the hip, mama knows something. And I'm like, wow, he ain't wrong. And he knew nothing about this case. See, hence the reason why there needs to be vigils. Hence the reason why there needs to be content creators and the news still covering this case. Because even Dog the Bounty Hunter didn't know anything about this case. Dog the Bounty Hunter. When Brian Laundrie was out there in those wilderness streets, sludging around in the swamp, suddenly out of nowhere, dun, 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 Dog the Bounty Hunter was like, yeah, we're coming in. We're going to find this evildoer. He never found him, but at the same time, he knew about that case. Because that case became a national obsession. It was like wildfire. It caught like wildfire. But Sebastian's case, still no. A lot of people do know about it, but not everybody. Like I said, even Dog the Bounty Hunter knew nothing about this case until it was brought up by someone else. And now he knows about Sebastian Rogers' case. It's crazy, guys. Real quick. Blatant. Pascal, we need you. Please help Caleb Harris missing unusual disappearance. Now, I have had, thank you, Blatant. I just wanted to bring this up. I have talked about this. We talked about it in 2 different shows. Now, there is no new information that I know of personally. I would love to get the family back on or their spokesperson back on to break down some new developments if there are new developments. But right now, there is nothing. It is literally gone radio silent with the information. Now, I'm wondering what is known. Okay. If law enforcement is withholding information, I don't know. Like I said, I'm completely in the dark, and it's very frustrating because Caleb is still out there and we still don't know what's going on with that case. So I'm hoping at some point very soon, that's what I'm trying to say. At some point very soon, I'm hoping that we're going to hear some sort of updates about Caleb Harris. But I have heard nothing. And trust me, if there's no new articles, there are no new news updates from news stations. Nothing. It's flatlined. And I don't know why. Now, I guess the main burning question is there new developments in the case, or is there not? And if there is new developments, then hopefully we hear about that very, very soon. Because I'd love to resurrect Caleb Harris's case, because right now it's dead and buried, y'all. It is dead and buried. True Crime, thank you so much. Again, no mom thinks cops did enough when her child is still missing. Katie said cops are doing all they can. Red flag. Your child is still missing. She knows more. Remember, it's funny because I remember in the first initial interview they had, and she's sitting there rocking back and forth, doing her Meryl Streeping. And she even said, I just want law enforcement to bring my son back. Right? That was interview number 1. Now it's, law enforcement is doing everything they can. It's weird, right? I don't think any parent is going to sit there, and I agree 100% with this super chat. I don't think any law enforcement or any parent's going to sit there and say, oh, law enforcement's doing everything they can. I feel like there's always some sense of urgency at all times. There's always some sort of urgency. I need my son now. Law enforcement ain't doing a damn thing. Even if they're out there doing stuff, they're not working fast enough. That's usually what we hear from parents. A lot of times. Never have I heard a parent say they're doing the best they can. What? Okay. Cheryl Reed just said, PI just updated 15 minutes ago on FB, on Facebook. Where? That's what I'd like to know. Where? Email it to me or something. I'll take a look at it before we wrap up the show. But nonetheless, craziness, guys. Okay? Nobody out here just suddenly wraps up and just says, oh, yeah, they're doing their best. Got to go find some Harleys, though. Me and Chris are going to go on a trip. Driving. We're going to bike across America for the summer. Take some time off as police go out and do their due diligence, try to find my missing son that's been missing for 60 days. Like I said, it just doesn't make sense. Does it to you? I'd have to say hell to the no. It don't make sense. But hey, innocent until proven guilty, right? Right? Right. I'll tell you what. I really do think that, and I know you guys heard my theories about this a million times over, but I really do feel in my heart of hearts that they know exactly what happened. That's what I think. Seth is completely in the dark, unfortunately. I mean, fortunately for him, because if he did know, then he would be a prime suspect and he would be a bad guy too, right? But it's unfortunate because you got him running in circles and losing his mind. Like literally his mask of senility is about to slip. All right. I can only imagine. I don't know for sure, but I'd be losing my mind right now. At this point, day 60, I'd be losing my mind. I'd be losing my mind. And I'm telling you right now, you would not want me. You would not want to see me at your dinner table. You would not want to see me at your dinner table. I'm telling you right now. All right. After day 60, you won't want to see me there. But that's just me, though. That's just me. Just keeping it real. But But I do feel like they do know something. I do feel like they do know something. Let me take a look at this here, guys, real quick. Let me see what if you guys sent me them email. Here, hold on. I'll just put that in the chat real quick. Tweedledee, you know what? Or is it all a scam? Anything is possible now. Yeah, I mean, you could still keep that on the table too. Like I said, this table is a mountain, is a full-on mountain of possibilities because we don't know where this kid is. But I don't think that why would they go out of their way to do that? Why of all people, like I don't even want to entertain that, it being a scam. Why would they even do that? I know there's been theories of maybe he's been put into some sort of institution or some sort of hospital of some sort, but then you'd be able to go through records and find him like that. An institution wouldn't withhold that kind of information if there was a nationwide search for this young man. So that, sure, it could be on the table, but that's way off on the side. That's dangling off the side, right? Hold on real quick. Let's continue on. Christy Hale, thank you so much. Do you think KP over-medicated accidentally or not Sebastian on that Sunday night? I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. I think something happened, and then he's no longer in that house. But how she was able to get away with moving him, whether alive or not, is still astonishing to me. Because if there is ring camera footage, etc., that is being seen out here, how is she able to do that? It is like the ultimate magic trick. It's a disturbing magic trick, obviously. How is she able to make us look at the right hand while the left hand was doing other things? That's the one thing I'm trying to figure out. And I don't know. It's crazy. True crime. Thank you again. No, mom. Oh, already did that. Yes, I already did that. Sorry about that. Please appeal. Oh, yes. Yes. Let me pull that up. So we have that as well. Let me pull up the petitions right here. Refresh it too. Where is it at now? I'm quite curious. Okay. Here is the petition. Still, change.org. Please go check it out. The link is in the description box down below. It has already been in there. It has been there every single time that we have covered the Sebastian Rogers case. The petition is still up there until it doesn't need to be up there anymore. Okay. So please go down in the description box down below, click on it, and go take a look at it, sign up for their petition. They're trying to get FBI to spearhead in this investigation, which I think is the right thing to do in my personal opinion. But I get that it's going to take some serious work for that to actually happen. I'm hoping that we get that happening very soon. But that petition is still trying to reach a 25,000 signature goal. It is still, well, it went up 1,500 the last time last time I talked about this case, or about Sebastian. So please go check it out if you can. Sign up right now. Okay. Jackie, thank you so much. The support that Pascal and T Rev have for Seth and Sebastian is unwavering, and I love it. Yes. There's a lot of great content creators that are absolutely trying to be there in solidarity for Sebastian. At the end of the day, it's trying to find Sebastian. Like, he went nowhere. He disappeared. What the hell happened here? Like I said, Katie Proudfoot or someone did the ultimate disappearing act. He left without a trace, not found on any videos, no nothing. The only time we saw him is when he took out the trash, came back in the house, and disappeared. That doesn't make sense, guys. It just doesn't. Lisa, thank you so much. I think either CP has him hid or he was, rush houred. Has to be one or the other. I mean, unless somebody hopped into his window, took him, and then took off. I mean, that's still a possibility. Lisa White, thank you so much. Could the reason why everything is so hush-hush with the public is Sumner County Sheriff's Office is being investigated as well? Proudfoots have tight connections. Now, if Sumner County Sheriff's Office is being investigated right now as we speak, whilst there is an investigation and a search going on for Sebastian, that would be news for me. That would be news to me. Okay. Now, we are understanding and learning that the Proudfoots allegedly do have connections within 5-0 in Hendersonville. I'm quite curious about that. If those connections are really that deep and all of that. But again, man. I'm hoping that we get some answers here very soon because it's getting very, very frustrating. But also at the same time, the main question that I'm hoping that we get answered, well, I hope we kind of answered a little bit of it right now is, are they really working together? And it sounds like as of last night, as of the update that we got last night, it was a hell no. That is still one-sided, and that Seth is still trying to hear something from them. Seth is still trying to get some information from the Proudfoots. Hold on real quick, guys. I'm checking something here. Hold on. Okay, this is interesting because these screenshots. Okay, let me check this out. All right, I got something I'm going to check out real quick before we wrap it all up. Thank you so much for sending this to me, guys. I do appreciate it. Let's take a look at this. So apparently this is from the PI. Hold on. This is Seth's PI. Oh. Oh, wow. That's interesting information. I'm going to keep, okay. Let me just get into this, okay? So I got a PI update. So let's take a look at some of this, all right? So here it is, all right? It says update. This is from Justice Warrior Investigations. So Tracy and I have been working with Sebastian Rogers' case for a couple weeks now. And I must say, we hit the ground running. We had a lot of catching up to do. Again, I want to say that we appreciate every lead. So thank you to everyone who has sent information. As we say in every case we work, please don't hesitate to call or message us with information. You may think it's nothing, but we won't know until we've had the opportunity to check it out. Obviously, I cannot share information that we haven't eliminated yet, but I can tell you some of the things that we have personally, quote unquote, ruled out. not to be confused with law enforcement's investigation and what they have or haven't ruled out. Number one, the SO that lives within a mile of Stafford is no longer a person of interest in my investigation. I interviewed him, got his alibi, and validated his alibi thoroughly. There's more. Hold on. 2, I can tell you that I know for a fact that Chris Proudfoot was accounted for in Memphis on Sunday evening and was at his job site at 5:15 a.m. on the morning that Sebastian was reported missing. That's very interesting and important information as well. Let's not forget that. Very interesting. Okay. And Kimberly, thank you so much for signing the petition. Guys, please follow in suit like Kimberly, Diana. Okay. I really do appreciate you guys signing the petition. Okay. Just takes 2 seconds to sign. So just go ahead and sign it. All right. Thank you. So he was accounted for in Memphis, according to this PI. He is accounted for at work at 5:15 a.m. on the morning that Sebastian was reported missing. Remember, Chris was in Memphis. Sebastian and Katie Proudfoot were in Hendersonville. That is a 3.5 hour drive. Now, there could have been something that happened between that time, though. He was accounted for Sunday evening. Still doesn't mean that he couldn't have, after he was accounted for at that one particular place or however he was accounted for, he could have hopped in his car and still drove out there and came back. But that's still a 7-hour turnaround drive. 3.5 hours. 3.5 hours. One way. That's 7 hours. So I'm wondering what time he was accounted for in Memphis on Sunday evening. Just asking. Just asking. But still, the fact that he was still at his job at 5:15 that morning says a lot, because he can't be Superman and Clark Kent in the same place at the same time. Moving on. Number 3, we did follow up on the lead regarding Republic dumpsters being dumped at the Gallatin landfill that caught on fire. That is false. The dumpsters were dumped at AAA in Nashville, or AAA in Nashville. Also, I was able to confirm that the law enforcement, or I was able to confirm with law enforcement that those dumpsters were checked thoroughly in the early morning hours of February 26. Let me go on to the next one because it's kind of cut up. Come on. Many of you have questioned, quote unquote, what we, Chloe, DXM, myself, and other teams are and have been doing. I cannot share that with you in detail, and I'm sorry for that. Obviously, I ain't mad about that. Keep that stuff close to your vest until you can figure out what's going on. That's what I give a damn about. However, I promise you that we are all working very hard to find Sebastian and to get to the bottom of what happened to him. I will provide more updates when I have something that can be shared. This isn't a 9 to 5 for us. It's a 24/7. Thank you all for your support. Respectfully, Heather. Okay? So that's very interesting information nonetheless. All right. Apparently there's some other information about the about what's going on. I guess there's something about I don't know. I don't know if I can say this stuff right now, but there's something that I guess has to do with somebody being in there that's isn't the right choice for this particular search. But I'm wanting to see that actually written and not in just an email. Does that make sense? Because somebody just wrote it to me in an email, but I'd love to see that part personally. Okay. because I am not about to sit here and throw any shade on anybody. Last thing I need is the drama. Okay. But at the same time, if there is something about misinformation or that there's concerns of safety, there clearly is something going on outside of just threats and other information that might not be real. There may be entities within certain groups that may not be the right choice in a search for a kid. There it is. All right. Moving on. Jocelyn, thank you so much. Have they searched near Chris's work? I don't recall if he left that evening to go back to work. In my opinion, only way he left house unnoticed is in Chris's car. They are saying that he was at work or he was in Memphis on Sunday evening. That has been accounted for. He was also at his place of work at 5:15 a.m. on the night or the morning of the day that Sebastian went missing. So like I said, he may not have anything to do with this. He really may not have anything to do with this. Again, we have to remember the very last person to ever see Sebastian alive and kicking is Katie. Like I said, of course, the common denominator when it comes to the search for Sebastian the common denominator for the alliance is definitely to search and find Sebastian. But the common denominator for this whole thing, for this whole issue, why we have been looking for him for 60 plus days is Katie Proudfoot. Now, there could very well be a situation where Chris knows a lot more. Maybe talked her through what she needed to do. Maybe. I don't know. But the last person to see Sebastian alive and kicking is Katie Proudfoot. She is the common denominator for this whole thing. The whole thing. Bozina, thank you so much. Please ask Dad check neighbor was monster after Sebastian went missing. Okay. Move, and then of course maybe moved from his house. I know from the neighbor. Well, Bozina, I just read a second ago that apparently this particular registered SO that lives down the street, I guess a mile and a half or so away from Sebastian's home, has been, I guess, he's not a person of interest anymore. I will show that to you guys again. Here it is. One more time. It says here, number one, the SO that lives within a mile of Stafford is no longer a person of interest, at least in her investigation. Maybe not in police, but in her investigation, the PI's investigation, they're saying this person has been cleared. I interviewed him, got his alibi, and validated his alibi thoroughly. So there you go. Still doesn't mean that it's all a wrap. Still doesn't mean, oh, well, he's been cleared, it's all good. No, you keep side-eyeing that mother lover until you get the actual truth. Keep that person on the table just in case, because you never know. That alibi could be lying for him too. You never know. Wilder things have happened. But again, we still don't know everything. But yes, from what she is saying, this particular person has a solid alibi. Again, we got to remember, common denominator for the reason why Sebastian is no longer here. Katie Proudfoot. She is the last person to see him alive. She is the last one in that house. All that stuff. It is Katie Proudfoot, Katie Proudfoot, Katie Proudfoot, until we hear or know of anything else. But she is the one who is saying all kinds of different things, as well as Chris Proudfoot. And so, of course, it makes you wonder, are they saying things to Are they saying things? Is he saying things to cover for her? Did he know about everything? Did he talk to her, helping her move him and whatever? Was this premeditated? Those are all questions that need to be answered. And I hope it's been 60 days. Like, let's just get the information out. Let's get the truth out here and just call it a damn day. Okay? It's crazy, guys. Whew, it's crazy. It is this case has been just one wild ass ride. And I mean, I'm not even a father of the father of Sebastian, or a parent, or or a kin, okay? But I feel like it is my kid. And it angers me because I just want this kid to be found. I just want the truth to be told. And whoever has the truth, because again, Katie Proudfoot may not have anything to do with this. She could be innocent. She really could. My feelings tell me otherwise. I'm still side-eyeing both of them, okay? I'm side-eyeing both of them. Just because Chris Proudfoot was on location at work at 5:15 a.m. does not mean that he was not present during that time. He could still be present on the phone, coaching her through things, talking to her, coming up with alibis, or coming up with the storyline. Because you know for a fact that any missing child is going to spark questions. The day he doesn't show up to school is the day that everyone is going to ask, what happened? What's the storyline? Where's Sebastian? So on and so forth. There's a good possibility of coaching conversations and all that. Just because he wasn't possibly physically there during this disappearance does not mean he wasn't there. Remember that, guys. Remember that. Anyway, guys, that is the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. It really means a lot. Like I said, I'm keeping close watch on this case, on all this that's going on. When there's more information, of course, we will talk about it. I'm still waiting on some things myself. Still waiting to see if there's anything else, because right now it's still bupkis. Right now, we're just still waiting on the Proudfoots and the Rogers to join forces and actually start working together. I'm still waiting for that ish, y'all. Hopefully this happens very, very soon, because this is getting very aggravating. And obviously, I'm preaching to the choir. So I appreciate all y'all for being here. It really does mean a lot. Thank you so much for being here, showing the love, showing the support. Please do me a favor, hit that like button down below. Don't forget to hit that reaction button as well. Of course, hit that follow button if you're watching on Facebook. Oh, before we get going, I'm still reading a bunch of you guys' Dear Pascal requests. The email, or like the opportunity to do this tonight, is still on the table. If you got a story, you got a conversation that you want to talk to me about, etc., want to get my thoughts on something, we will be doing that tonight. Our first ever. I mean, it's going to be part of the show. It'll be at the latter half of the show. But we are going to be doing a Dear Pascal segment tonight, our very first one. So please email me. Put it, Dear Pascal, in the subject of the email. Tell me what it is that you want to talk about, and I'll be in contact with you guys, okay? I'm just picking one for tonight, and hopefully it'll be a great conversation, okay? But still send me those emails, because I still have many other shows in the very near future that I'd love to have you a part of, and maybe hear your story and hear your conversation, and have a conversation with you on a later show, okay? So definitely send that. Let me know. Dear Pascal, put that in the subject of the email, okay? And let's have a conversation. Anyway, guys, I appreciate all y'all for coming in, being a part of the conversation. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. Hit that follow button on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, X, all right? Please, if you want to support the channel, Hit that join button down below if you're watching on YouTube, or if you want to join my Patreon, patreon.com/The Pascal Show. I would really appreciate the support over there as well. Okay, guys? But anyway, it's time to get going. Much love to you guys. Have a great rest of your day. We'll be talking very soon. I may be on this afternoon before tonight's show because there's some updates on some other cases that I want to give you guys as well. All right? Anyway, guys, it is time to get going. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. Have a great afternoon, guys. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.